So in May of 2025, I got one of the most expensive drops you can possibly get, a weapon case 1. And this kickstarted the journey from grinding 12 accounts every week to working our way up to a knife. But how much money have we actually made from this so far, and has it been worth it? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to peak unemployment. But how time consuming is it to grind 12 entire accounts every single week? And thankfully I do have a little bit of data to share with you guys. So on average, it takes about an hour, 40 minutes to 2 hours per account every single week. Now, obviously, some are a little bit quicker, some take a little bit longer, and it mostly just depends on the weekly challenge. Because those weekly challenges, especially if you have a ton of accounts, they compound fast. If you do the challenges where you win 18 rounds, I mean, across 12 accounts, you're looking at 12,600 XP, so around 2.5 accounts worth. And that really makes a big difference. But overall, what do I actually play? So it mostly just comes down to a lot of comp, but if you do go 0-13, you get 0 XP, so it's a big risk. And then I found deathmatch is the most consistent, and it's one of the quickest if you're able to get those high scores. Because the cool thing about deathmatch is your score correlates exactly to the amount of XP you're going to get. There's literally nothing else to it. It's just more score, more XP. If you're also playing on multiple accounts, bad trust factor is inevitable. All it really takes is like a lack of game history, a lack of Steam purchases, and of course with 12 accounts, it is impossible to keep up with that standard. On top of that as well, if you do get reported for playing too well, like if you drop 30 frags in a game, then that can also negatively affect your trust factor. So it's like no matter what you do, it's really, really difficult to maintain good trust factor. And because of that, you're going to get into a lot more cheater lobbies. So definitely one of the bigger downsides. But we have one other elephant to mention, and that is the fact that Valve did secretly remove rare cases. I mean, not entirely, you can still get them, but it used to be about a 1% chance every week to get a rare case. You could get breakout cases, Phoenix cases, weapon case 1s, weapon case 2s, Bravos. There were so many just incredible cases you could get, and now it's like the odds are near 0. I mean, I think it technically still is possible, but it's not even remotely close to the 1% we had before. So that makes case farming a little bit less ideal. Let's just put it that way. But even though the rare cases are gone, there's still the Ascent, Beryl, and Radiant collections, which do have some pretty expensive skins. Like the M4 Stratosphere, it's about 172 for factory new if you get one of those. I mean, even the Midnight Laminate, which is a step down at a purple, it's still $39 in factory new. The Beryl collection is also up there for a factory new Op Green Energy. It's around 150. And then for the Radiant collection, the Novu Rogue is 227, so it is by far the most expensive. There's also the Mulberry, Glitch Paint, and the Bleeding Edge, which are all really nice play skins. So even though the rare cases are gone, there's still some pretty good opportunities to make some decent profit. So over the last 33 weeks from all the drops, I've gotten about 792 items total, 396 of which are cases. And I've been slowly selling them off on the Steam market, trying to build up my Steam balance. I also made some side investments, but we'll get into that pretty soon. First, we have a very small slice of all the drops I got in 2025. That's actually not. I mean, that's just a few of the better ones, but we got a few hundred more drops. It's a lot. Okay, let's actually get into the reason why you clicked on the video in the first place. How much have we actually made? So the number is kind of hard to quantify because it's complicated. Right now I have 166 Canadian dollars in Steam balance. I technically could afford a knife, and there are some pretty decent knives that are definitely within my budget, like Bowie Knife Stained, or I could even get a Navaja Tiger Tooth factory new. But this is just talking about Steam balance too. I still have a lot of skins that I'm sitting on. So I have a little update. Instead of just sitting on the Steam balance, I picked up 5 more armory passes that I'm going to be working towards over the next couple months. If a new case does come out, it potentially could double our money. Because the market hasn't really been so hot for a lot of the cases lately, like they're definitely not anywhere near their peak. Instead of just selling them immediately, which is what I did previously, I've been just holding on to them, waiting for the right time to sell. Because the thing is, especially if you're sitting on a lot of cases, if you sell at the wrong time, you could be leaving dozens, if not hundreds of dollars on the table. I mean, in my case, I have like a couple of pages. I've been sitting on these for a little bit. In November, they hit around $333, which is actually a pretty good price. I'd probably consider selling at that. They've been in kind of a weird spot where they've been overall down. So if we sold everything at the current market price, we would be looking at around $300 more in our Steam wallet. I have to actually sell before I make the profit. So this is just all speculative, and it could fluctuate. It could change, could go up, could go down, depends on the market. So far in like the 33, 34 weeks, however however long we've been doing this, I've made $466.29. I have spent 816 hours, and on average, we're making about 57 cents an hour. So still more than I make streaming. And this is going off the assumption that I'm doing it in the most optimal way possible, which could be farther from the truth. I've spent well over 1,000 hours doing this. So is it worth it to grind 12 accounts every single week for the CS2 drops? I would say no. You shouldn't do this for the money. You should just do it because you love the game.